Let's start playing with colors. An important part of a brand, a very important part, and especially if you are thinking about creating a restaurant or a food brand, like in my case right here for this example, colors are going to play a major role. So my goal in this lecture is to show you 3 different sources of inspiration, and then we are going to try and come together with a 4 or 5 color palette that we will be using for our brand. So let's dive into it. The first place where we are going to search is a no-brainer. We are going to search on Google for an egg color palette. Okay, so egg color palette, I'm just going to hit enter. And from the get-go, in my all results tab, I start seeing egg color palettes. That's the benefit of using Google. It just gives you what you're looking for. So what I suggest is that we filter by images. So we go to the second tab right here and we have a look at our color palettes. I can see we have different things. We have the eggshells. Okay, so a palette like this one right here could be interesting because there are different shades of the eggshell color. So starting from the darker right here all the way to the lighter one right here. So this one is an interesting one. So the way I would proceed once I find a color palette that I am interested in, I would just screenshot it like so. There you go. I could grab the hex codes as well. Screenshot, then come to my Canva document and just drag my screenshot straight into the document like so. All right, so these are for inspiration. We're not going to grab this exact color palette. It's just a source of inspiration. I'm going to put it here. And by the end of this lecture, this page, maybe a second page as well, will be filled with color palettes related to eggs. So that's how we are going to proceed. Another one that I find interesting, this one right here, egg toast color palette. So why not? So same thing, I'm just going to grab a screenshot right here of that color palette and then quickly switch back to my Canva tab and position my color palettes somewhere on that page. I will rearrange these color palettes, doesn't matter. It's just for me to have that reference at this time. This one, also interesting. This one is more about the interior of the egg. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this as well. I could grab the hex code right here underneath. There you go. Now I have this color palette as well. So nothing really crazy here. You get the point. We just browse the Google images and find color palettes that we like. We can go pretty deep down this rabbit hole and we can pretty much also harness any visual related to eggs that we find interesting. It's always good to have more than not enough. This one, for example, egg yolk. Yeah, you see, you can really go down several types of rabbit holes here. So that's the first source of inspiration. This is Google search and more precisely Google images. Now let me show you another way where you can search for color palettes. And this one is a section of the Canva website. You see I'm on Canva. Okay, so the URL to get here is canva.com/colors. Okay, canva.com/colors. You will land on this page right here. So from here, you can do different things. You can generate a color palette, okay, by uploading a photo. Canva will extract dominant colors from this photo to create a palette for you, or you can explore the existing color palette on this landing page, which is what I would recommend you do. Then you can play around with the color wheel and you have also some color theory from where you can learn more about the meaning of colors, okay, what they represent, when to use them, etc., etc. So this is like a very interesting resource for designer. Me, I'm going to focus on the color palette ideas right here. So if I scroll down, let me show you. Yeah, I wanted to show you the abundance of color palette. We have 99 plus pages here of color palette combinations, and all the palettes will have 4 colors. Okay, so you can search as well. So let's try searching by typing egg. Let's see if we can find something. Yeah, we have some color palettes related to egg. We have a lot of kind of like eggshell colors right here, and then we have some more pastel colors for Easter egg hunt. Okay, like this one egg cartoon, Easter egg nest. So Easter is famous for the egg hunts, obviously. obviously. And these eggs are often painted in pastel colors. That's why we have different color palette that look pastel. All right, so you can grab whatever you need from here as well. Very simply, you can click on these color palettes. Let me click on this one, for example. So here we see a photo. We'll always have a photo and then the color palette corresponding to this photo. And what I like is that every color carries a name and you can see the hex code of each color as well. Something cool that you can do from here, you can favorite that color palette if you want, but also if you click on the color itself, it will copy it to your clipboard, which is very interesting because now if I come back to Canva and if I create a rectangle by hitting my R key, I can change the color with the color button right here, go to the color button and just paste the hex code to get that specific color. Remember that cream color that I copied from here? I could very easily come and just use it in one of my Canva designs. Obviously, you can also screenshot. So I'm going to screenshot this entire color palette right here. There you go. And again, just simply bring it over to my Canva document. And if you screenshot it a little bit too much, like I did right here, you can always adjust that photo because at the end of the day, it became a photo when I just uploaded it to my Canva document. So that's the second source of inspiration for my color palette. It's canva.com/colors. Okay. Now let me show you yet a third source of inspiration for finding and creating color palettes. I'm talking about the website Coolors. So Coolors, Coolors, and the extension is coolors.co. Okay, coolors.co. If you just type Coolors with 2 O's and no U in Google, you should land on this website. So yeah, this is a website I have been using for years now already, but I love it because it's the most complete resource about colors and color palettes that I know about. So I'm going to show you 2 of the website's features, functionalities that I love. So on the landing page, you can sign in if you want. Me, I'm not signed in here. I do have an account because I've been using this for a very long time already, and I have an account which allows you to save your palettes and stuff like that. But from the homepage, you can either make a palette or explore palettes. So let's explore first. So exploring, you will have something very similar to what you had in canva.com/colors. The difference is that you have palettes that have more than just 4 colors. Remember, on Canva, all of the palettes only had 4 colors. Here we have palettes with a bunch of colors, like this one right here. Something else that I love from Coolors is that when you're browsing for palettes and you see a color that you like, let's say you like this light blue, you can simply click on it and it's also copied to your clipboard. So let me show you again. I'm just going to come back to Canva, create a rectangle with R and change the color. So same process, using the color button, pasting my color, and now I have this blue color, which looks more like a green, but it's really a blue color. Where is it? It's here. This one right here. So that is cool. You don't need to open the palette in order to copy the hex code. You can just browse from here and start picking the colors that you like. So some palettes will be kind of like different shades of the same color, like this one right here, or this one right here, or this red right here. And some will be like real combinations of different colors, like this one or this one right here. So the way you can use that, you can search. So you can search with colors, topics, styles, or hex values. Okay. So one caveat, they don't really work with specific keywords. So if I type egg and hit enter, no palettes are found because that's not really how Coolors work, right? So let me get rid of this tag. But the way it works is with a color or a hex code. So let me come back to my Canva inspo right here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to simply pick a color. So from one of these color palettes, let's say I would like this yellow right here. I think this could be a nice egg yolk color and I want this color. I already have the color F4CA21. Okay, let me show you another way to grab a color from any photo with Canva. For that, you will need to be positioned on an element. Could be your background, could be a shape. Me, I have a shape right here. This square that I created became a rectangle now. I can use the color button, so this guy right here, and use the color button right here with the little plus inside of it. Click on plus and use the color picker. You see this guy? guy, color picker, pick a color. So I'm going to use that and just drag it over to the color I wish to pick, this one right here. And there you go. Now I have my shape has taken that exact color and it gives me the hex code, which is not the same one as this one right here. So sometimes when you do stuff like that, when you screenshot, port it over to Canva or another software, the color might slightly change. Not too much, like the naked eye probably won't see much of a difference. You see, you don't really see a difference between these two colors, but there is indeed a difference. So it's this color right here. So again, if you lost it, like if you don't remember what is the color of this, so click on it, click on that shape, click on the color button, and then you can grab your hex code from here. So I copied it, Command C on my keyboard. Now I'm just going to go back to Coolers and initiate my search with this hex code. You see, I pasted it here and now I can search. And now I should be getting some results here. All right, so these are the 5 color palette that resulted from this search. Okay, I can see my color right here. It is the same color. It is the same exact color. So this might be a little bit limiting, this way of searching with a hex code, because it will only show you the palettes with that exact same yellow. So this could be limiting. So I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to use the keyword yellow. Okay, let's go for that. And there you go, a lot of yellows now, a lot of different shades of yellow. You see, yellow color palettes. That's great. Remember, we are trying to build a brand. So I don't only need like a yellow, shades of yellow kind of color palette like this one, or even this one. Because when it comes to creating a brand, it is very handy to have variety in your color palette. Okay, so obviously I would need some colors that refer to eggs, that relates to egg, like egg yolk. Like I definitely need some yellow, but I need more than just yellow. Okay, now something like this, for example, could be very useful and handy, easy to work with, because I have this red that could be my accent color. I have this burgundy that could also come and play nicely with the red before transitioning to a yellow. I have a black, which could be great for typography. So yeah, think about all of these things when you pick your colors for your brand. Something like this could also be cool, but I feel like I probably would need to combine this with maybe a dark gray. You see this color palette right here? It doesn't have any really dark color for my typography. So yeah, those are important things to consider when it comes to choosing your color palette. How versatile will it be for all of your needs, like in terms of branding and marketing, okay? So I'm gonna skip ahead and show you the result of my color palette research, and then we will finalize that color palette that we are going to be using for Revolution. All right, guys, I am back to my Canva document, and I wanted to go back, rewind to something I created in the previous lecture, this page right here with the extended brand messaging, you know, the taglines, because I really like this one, Revolution, and I like the colors that I initially used and selected for this logo right here. So I'm going to copy this logo and come here and paste that on that page. And I want to show you how I came up with my final color palettes. I have 3 color palettes for my brand Revolution that I decided to keep and work with. So right here are the 3 color palettes. So let me explain to you what they are. First of all, we have the shades of yellow, okay? Shades of yellow, this one being what's inside this Revolution logo right here. That represents my egg yolk, okay? So it's very similar to this one right here, which was one of the color palettes that was inspired by Google. It's this one right here. So I decided to go for this color for representing the egg yolk. And then from this color, I decided to work my way up to the lighter tones, okay? The lighter tones of this yellow. So I have this one right here, which is a little bit more of electric, these 2 electric yellow, and then a very pale pastel yellow that could work well for backgrounds and things like that. So that is my, I would say, primary color, the yellow, which is going to be the primary color, the dominant color of the brand. But then I needed some accent colors and some background colors as well. So my accent color is going to be that red, okay? Revolution, the color of the Revolution is definitely red in my opinion, so it makes sense that we have a bright red into the mix. This color also makes me think of a hot sauce or spicy sauce or the chili, so I really like that. This one, I took it from this color palette right here. I think it's the exact same red right here. Then I needed something kind of in between my yellow and red, so I went for this nice and soft orange. That could work well. Then some brown, like we are starting to get into the egg inspiration, the egg color palettes, right? So if we come back to the color palette, we just screenshot it a few minutes ago. You can see definitely that we are close to this color right here with this square right here in the middle. And then some different shades of the eggshells as well, so lighter and then even more light for the last one right here. So this combo right here, this palette of 5 colors will be kind of my accent colors, or the color palette that will give me more flexibility. Not just yellow and then the neutrals, but this one right here in the middle is going to give me a broader range to work with. Okay, let me clean that slide up for you so you don't get confused, and let me center everything right here. Okay, and then I have my classic, my pure white, pure black, and then something kind of in between, a light gray, that also could be very useful for working with different things, like different brand assets. So there you go. We have our color palettes, the shades of yellow, the flexible one, like the one that will give me that flexibility that I need for my brand, and some neutrals. So I could say this is mission accomplished. We have our brand colors. Now in the next lecture, we are going to work on refining the visual direction we want to take with Revolution.